You're welcome back to watching Business Morning here on Channels Television. Recently, we've seen a lot of activities around Transnational Corporation PLC. That's Transcorp. They have their energy, they have the hotels. We saw their financial result looking good. We talked about it some weeks ago right here on Business Morning. But today, I think we'll focus more on their energy. As we know, energy supply or electricity supply is a vital part of doing business in Nigeria, gobs a lot of overhead costs for businesses, and so we do need solutions. Well, joining us for this conversation is Dr. Owen Omogiafo. She is the president and Group Chief Executive Officer of Transnational Corporation PLC, joins us virtually from Abuja. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Omogiafo. And let's get right into it. We see that Transcorp has been really busy. You have your tourism, your hotels, but I think we're more interested in the energy at this time because that's a bigger need for the country.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Happy to be here with you today.
All right, so I was hoping you could bring us up to date on some of those acquisitions that you have done and the movement around your company.
Okay, so once again, I'm glad to be here. Like you said, energy is very important for the society, and we've seen there's been a lot of developments as it relates to how are things changing. So for us in Transcorp, our purpose is improving lives and transforming Africa. And we do recognize very strongly that to transform any society, you need to fix the energy space. You need to fix power. And earlier on, like 10 years ago, we first invested in our power generation business in Transcorp Power Ughelli. We consolidated further in 2020 with the acquisition of Afam Power Genco, which then took us to about 2,000 megawatts. But looking at the entire value chain, realized that the power still wasn't getting to the last mile. So when the opportunity came for the distribution companies, the new investment in distribution companies, it seemed it was the right thing to do. And working with other investors, that's what pushed us. So that was the motivation for us to go with other investors to take the stake in Abuja Electricity Distribution Company that we have just done, noting that distribution company is very, very critical and a strong part of getting the power to the last mile users, getting the power in a safe, reliable, accessible manner all the way to the end. And that's what's guiding us right now as we continue to push on our principle of Afro-capitalism. Thank you.
Yeah. So now that you are in the distribution area, there are so many challenges. I wonder what you're going to do differently. We've been talking for years about getting meters to consumers to make billing, easier and collection also more accountable. But it seems that's a big issue. Even with maps, the program by the president, it doesn't seem like it's moved very fast.
Change does take time, and this is the reality. A lot of times we talk about the challenges in distribution, and you've asked what are we going to do different. The reality is that even in our generation, there are challenges that we worked on, focusing on the disciplined approach that we have towards transformation. We are private sector, and we bring in that private sector discipline, that private sector rigor, the far-sightedness. So what are we going to do different? We're going to take a holistic view of what are the challenges within the sector. It goes beyond just the metering. We have a customer enumeration exercise that needs to take place. Nigeria needs a strong identification database where we are able to connect people, individuals to their houses, individuals to their meters, follow through on the power. The level of energy theft in our country is still too high. The level of energy losses that's arising from obsolete equipment, they are still high. And of course, the collection system that we have, yes, to some extent, we now have some more automation, but there is still some manual systems. And what we will work on is work on using both technology as well as the sociological infrastructure that exists within Nigeria to see how we're going to drive our collection, how we're going to drive the metering, how we're going to drive customer satisfaction, customer engagement, because in everything that we're doing here, ultimately, the customer is king. And that is what we're looking for, because when you're able to create value for the customer, they will work with you hand in hand towards progress.
So now we have the Electricity Act that empowers states to generate, distribute electricity and all of that. Where do you fit into that?
Let me first start by saying that it's a welcome development, right? It's a welcome development because we need to have a lot more happening at the state level. There's quite a bit that is situated at the federal, but the people are at the local governments. They are down all the way into the state. So we are glad about this development because it's going to allow states to be able to take charge more of their fate as it relates to power generation. So for us in Transcorp, where do we fit into that? We fit as a preferred partner, just like we've partnered with the federal government in the past 10 years in the power sector. This is how we are also going to make ourselves available. Today, we actually have 2 generating companies, one in Delta State and one in Rivers State. In both plants, we have the capacity. So you've talked about our results. Transcorp has been in the news. But it interests you to know that we could actually have generated more than even what we did in the first half of the year if we had gas and the right infrastructure to be able to evacuate our power. So now that the states are very involved, we've seen states that were leaders even before this, before the Electricity Act. We saw Edo State, Lagos State, Ondo State, Kaduna taking charge to say, how do we solve the power situation in our state? And of course, when you solve the power situation, you will attract investment. It is a natural order of things. Any state that is able to provide access to power, improve security, reduce any barriers to investment, will find that there will be investments will follow. And for us at Transcorp, we have the pedigree, we have the track record. And that is what we're going to be offering with the working with the state to say, look, we know what we're doing. This thing requires patience, it requires funding, and we're here with you as a trusted partner.
All right, we hope you spread your tentacles to many states, not just the Federal Capital Territory, and all of that. But thank you so much for sharing the Transcorp perspective and vision